Hi, I'm Eric Westrich. We're here at San Diego Startup Week, and I'm also here with Keola Malone from Underground Elephant. You're the CTO, correct?
That's correct.
So the big question, the elephant in the room, where did the name come from, Underground Elephant?
Well, you know, the true story is actually pretty complicated. I don't know if we would have enough time to get into it here, but you know, I can give you kind of the elevator pitch of it. You can think of the obvious metaphors such as the elephant never forgets, the elephant in the room, but also there's the underground aspect of it, which is kind of where we like to think about our marketing strategy and our marketing styles, you know, kind of that guerrilla style marketing.
Great. Well, so you're obviously in a high startup environment. Underground Elephant is one of those startup companies that's just growing fast and doing things like that. Did you always have the startup bug? Where did that start?
Well, you mean for me personally?
Yes.
Well, no. I mean, I think you know, like a lot of great things, I just kind of fell into it. You know, I think that the bug that I did have was that I always loved San Diego. My family is actually originally from Hawaii, but I grew up in the Bay Area. So for me, San Diego was a nice kind of combination of those two things. And so I knew that I wanted to live in San Diego. And you know, finally one day I decided, let's do it. So I moved down to San Diego. Didn't really have a plan at the time, but I was really fortunate enough to meet our CEO, Jason Kolpa. And so he was the visionary, and he was the one that first kind of infected me with the startup bug, you could say.
So what is the core impact that Underground Elephant makes on the world? How is life different because of what you do?
Well, I think that we help consumers through some of their most difficult / important life choices. You know, for us, we were very big in the for-profit education space. So, you know, we like to think that we're helping these students, you know, better their lives. So you're working with these stay-at-home moms and people that are looking to, you know, further their careers in ways that they couldn't before through online schools and things like that. Now we're big in the automotive industry. We help consumers, you know, shop insurance companies, and they're not only, you know, working with one, but we're giving them options. And so, you know, while we might be dealing directly with insurance companies, we feel like we actually cater more to the client in a way that helps them, you know, get cheaper rates.
So consumers find you through people you're working with, through an insurance company or an educator.
Well, they actually find, it's almost the way around. They find these end users, these companies through us. So we're actually going out and we're finding these consumers.
Okay. So what's the biggest problem while working at Underground Elephant that anyone ever dumped in your lap and said, here, solve this?
Well, you know, I think for that I might have to go back a ways. Actually, my first day on the job, you know, I wasn't hired as CTO, as you can probably imagine. I'm a little young for the role. But my first day on the job, I was actually hired as just a, you know, entry-level engineer. It was a startup, so at the time there was only about 6 employees. And I come in on my first day, and my predecessor, you could say, he goes to lunch, and an hour later, I get an email in my inbox. And the subject line says, don't worry. I open it up, and the body says, I have to quit for personal reasons, but you could do this job. I thought I was being pranked, right? Until, you know, an hour later when Jason comes back, and he brings me in the office, and he's like, look, this is your chance. Do you want to do this job? And, you know, in that moment, you know, I think that I made a decision to take on, you know, what would be the biggest challenge of my life. And, you know, 8 years later, I think we figured it out.
Great. And so where do you see this market going in the next 1 to 3 years? If you and I are sitting looking back in the 3 years ago, where do you think this market's going to go?
Well, I think that one of the great things about our company is that we've been able to build some really cool technology. And that technology has allowed us to adapt because markets change. You know, right now we're really big in the automotive industry. Before it was for-profit education, and in 3 years, you know, who knows what it might be. But what's really cool is that our technology is very industry and market agnostic, so we can take it and we can apply it. So as long as there is something that consumers need, we'll be there to help them find that.
And what are your biggest challenges to getting there yourself?
Well, right now, it's resources. I think we're growing very fast. We have a really dedicated and talented team, but we just need more. We've got a nice big new office, and now we need to fill it.
About how many people work for Underground Elephant?
Right now, we're teetering around the 110 employee mark. About, I would say, 25 to 30 of those are engineers.
And obviously you're a sponsor of San Diego Startup Week, so thank you for that. How does Underground Elephant use San Diego Startup Week to further its goals? What do you get out of San Diego Startup Week?
Well, I think one of the things is what we just talked about, trying to find more resources, trying to find young talent. I think one of the things that I've always prided myself in, for me and for the company, is that we have this ability to take in young talent and train them. They may not spend their whole careers with Underground Elephant, but when they leave, they've definitely furthered their career and their growth curve.
Well, it's a great story. Congratulations on changing jobs your first day and still having the same job with a lot more people later. So thank you for your time, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see everybody at San Diego Startup Week.